I am disappointed right now. I got some news that was not the best. Nothing like health-wise or nothing like that, just like business-wise. This year has been challenging, period. And so I have actively been working on handling disappointment or handling when things don't go my way better. So I wanted to bring you with me to show you how I am handling disappointment healthily in real time. So my disappointments or my disappointing news happened yesterday. And so first you have to know your triggers and you have to know how you cope. One of my wounds that elicits my trauma response is like worthiness or value. Whenever I get news that disappointed, that tap dance on that worthiness or value wound, I want to go to sleep. I want to go nap. Naturally, I am a wallower. Okay. I am not one of the girlies who like throws themselves into work in order to deal with things or work themselves through. That's not me. I'm a nap. I'm going to sleep. I'm gonna hold this pillow, I'm gonna cry, and I'm going to wallow. That's how I cope in an unhealthy way, which is changing, okay? However, I don't want to ever get to a point where I am doing the opposite, right? Like I go from one extreme to the next to where now I'm coping by pushing myself and overworking and like grinding through it. I don't want to get to that point either. So gave myself yesterday to really just like sit in the feeling, to acknowledge why I was feeling that way, to feel all of the emotions that rose up because of the news that I got. But today is a new day. So we're gonna do it together, sis. Because I really believe that the benefit of community is that through us sharing our stories and our processes, we help make each other stronger. We make each other better. And what helps me might help you. So let's see. In a season like this, in a space that I am in, I absolutely need to feed my soul, okay? And what is that? So I have already done my devotional prayer routine this morning, but this morning while I was reflecting, I felt the Holy Spirit kind of like challenge me. What was the difference or what is the difference between Gideon and King Saul? Because they both had similar situations or similar insecurities where they dealt with unworthiness, which I already told you, sis, is a wound for me, right? And so I want to study Gideon and then King Saul to compare and contrast both of those stories. And this is the first time that I realized like they literally said the same thing. When God called them to something, they literally said the same thing. So Gideon, Judges 6 is Gideon's story, verse 14. Okay, so then the Lord turned to him and said, "Go with the strength you have and rescue Israel from the Midianites. I am sending you." I'm reading from the NIV, okay? Verse 15, Gideon's response, he says, "But Lord," Gideon replied, "how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest of the whole tribe of Manasseh. Don't come for me, okay? And I am the least in my entire family." This is how he feels about himself, right? If this is not unworthiness and I don't feel like I have value, bruh, what else is? But then let's flip over to 1 Samuel 9. And this is Saul's response to being called. "And I am here to tell you that you and your family are the focus of all of Israel's hopes." Saul replied, "But I am from the tribe of Benjamin, the smallest tribe in Israel, and my family is the least important of all the families of the tribe. Why are you talking like this to me?" Not they had the same insecurity, not they responded the same way. What I felt like the Holy Spirit was trying to get me to understand was our insecurity, my insecurity, is only supposed to drive me closer to my reliance on God. And the difference between Gideon and Saul is while they both had the same insecurity, they handle those things completely different. Where Gideon was able to really see his faith grow through his trust in God, through his obedience to God. King Saul, literally, we see his entire kingdom and him fall apart because his insecurity drove him to disobedience, where Gideon's insecurity drove him into the arms of Jesus. Well, not Jesus yet, but into the arms of God. King Saul used that insecurity to be driven into the arms of the people, and where their opinions of him and the situation that he was going through mattered more than obeying God's command. So it really, for me, feels like a call to action in a way where it's like, you get to pick. Do you want your story to be more in line with how Gideon responded through his insecurity, or through Saul's response to his insecurity? And I don't know about you, sis, but give me Gideon's story. I don't want Saul's story, Lord. So, in response to that reminder, thank you, Holy Spirit. Okay, I am going to, like I said, I've already done my devotional, I've already prayed and all of the things. But what I'm going to do is take a moment to remind myself of all of the prayers and situations that I have walked through that God has already answered, to remind me that if He's done it before, He will do it again. I keep a record of all of my wins, all of the prayers that have been answered, all of your comments or messages that like really show me what I'm doing is having impact, why I'm doing this, so I can see where I've been, what I've been brought out of, and also why where I'm going really matters. And this helps keep me out of comparison, because I can fall into the trap of comparison when I'm dealing with disappointment. I can also fall into the trap of inaction when I'm dealing with disappointment. This ain't nothing but a little setback, or it might not even be a setback, right? It's just part of my journey. And it didn't work out for a reason. And I know all of those things are so cliche to say, but going back through my records of wins really reminds me that that is true, because what I thought was a setback before turned out to work out for my good. So I'm going to take a little time to journal in my iPad. Before we move on to our next thing, I was going to go to the gym today because it's Wednesday. My dance jam class, the dance fitness class that I do, is on Wednesday in the mornings. However, because the meeting that I had yesterday was like early afternoon, yesterday is supposed to be a content filming day for me. But because I had that meeting, the rest of my day was a wash. Not even gonna hold you. However, I'm not sacrificing my moving my body and the physical part of my self-care, because the kids have BJJ later today. So while they are at BJJ, I'm going to walk the belt line. So I'm still going to get that part of self-care in. It's just like I talked about in last week's video about how to juggle and balance it all. Today is one of those like, okay, I need to reprioritize my decisions. And okay, I love going to dance jam. I really do. I love dancing. However, I didn't get that content done yesterday. I need to get it done today. So we're going to reprioritize these decisions. So I'm not sacrificing moving my body. I am just putting it in a different time slot, and also choosing a different activity. Let's go journal, sis, and then go get some work done.
Tell me what you say now. Tell me what you say, come again. If you cannot stay down, then you do not have to pretend like there is no way out. I should've never let you in, cause you got me face down. And don't take it personal. All the words, you know what you've done to me. Although it hurts, I know I just can't keep running away.
My neck, my back, so buttery brown. My neck, my back, my back, my neck, my back, so buttery brown.
Cause you got that beat. Cause you got that beat for me. Cause you got that beat. Cause you got that beat for me. Cause you got that beat for me. Real love is deep for me. I'ma make you go weak for me. Make you wait the whole week for me. I see you watching feed it. I know you want it, see it. I know you need it, drug it, you want it all. You do I know you need love. I need some too. Do you want this? Like it wants you. Know that booty gon' do what it want to. Can't hit it one time, book a boy. I know you see this red on me. Now come and get 2048 out the trap. Hit it with the rap, put it on the map, bring it right back. Call me when you wanna get 20 minutes turn up with the racks. I'll be G on my back, double G on my dash. Nigga, I'm back. I'm back. When you wanna get where you can't get no higher.
Hey sis, good morning. Welcome back to another day in this week of bouncing back from disappointment. I'm going to be focused on radical self-care. This is part of my process, how I've been going about bouncing back from disappointment better in a more healthy way. And that does not just look like, you know, the aesthetic side of self-care, which, listen, I like that side too, so we're gonna sprinkle in a little bit of that as well, but we're gonna go about this in a very holistic way where I'm taking care of mind, body, and soul, starting with my space. Now, self-care is going to look a little bit differently because it should be personalized to what you need. This kind of goes back to what I was saying yesterday about knowing your coping mechanisms. We know Yanique likes to what? Lay in the bed and wallow. So part of my radical self-care is actually spending intentional time working on my goals, my business goals, my physical goals, okay? Like my goals for my skin, my goals for my spiritual journey. So today I'm going to be taking action steps as part of my radical self-care day. Girl, I thought that was a spider. The way I was about to jump out my skin, y'all was about to see me fly out this road. Okay. So I'm switching up my working environment today because sometimes it just takes a little bit of a fresh environment. So let's shake it up a bit to add a little bit of spark back into our work life. And since I have a lot of like editing to do and I'm working on a project, we'll talk about that soon. Okay. I have a lot of computer work. It can get very dull and boring staying at my desk in the house over days and days and days. So we're going to switch up our environment and go to a cute little coffee shop, which means I also want to put myself together. Okay, y'all know I miss show up and show out. Okay, so the weather is a little cooler, like it's trying to give fall today. Barely. I think we're still going to be in the high 80s by the time it starts warming up, but it's still early morning. It's still like low 70s right now, so I think I'm going to go with a dress. I really love this blue dress, but I also have been loving this shirt dress that I got from H&M maybe like a month or so ago. But I do think I want to go with color today. Let's get dressed. In addition to some of the editing and just like overall content things that I need to be working on, like I said, I'm working on a project, but part of that project is really solidifying my brand identity or my presence online outside of just being a content creator. I'm working on getting my personal website done, which means that I really need to start planning for the photo shoots and like the pretty things of it, but also some of the content that's going to be going on this website. And because I am not a graphic designer at all, nor am I a trained marketer or marketing professional, I'm going to be working with the Dream Lab in order to get my website and my personal branding for my website done on a professional level, and I am so excited about it. And this is where knowing your strengths and weaknesses come into play. Sometimes you just have to let go of your pride and your ego and ask for help. And know when to outsource things too. Like, sure, I have a software development background. I can definitely build a website, but guess what? I've been building this website for a year now and I have not done much to it. So I need to outsource it, okay? It is time for me to bite the bullet and say, you know what? This might be something that I need help with, that I need to just go ahead and outsource here. If I have to spend a little coin, then I got to spend a little coin. You know, if I have to work with a professional and put this project in the hands of a professional in order to get it done, then it's time to do that. A lot of the times we hold ourselves back by being Miss DIY or wanting to just take sole credit for a project that it actually holds you back. It's okay to accept help, sister. It is okay to pay for help so that you can have some sanity back and that you can push that project or that goal that you're working on much further past your skill level. Get the help that you need, sis. It's okay. My legs feel dry. I need body butter. Josie Moran sent me the PR package with their Vanilla Vibes body butter, and girl, this is such a great way to layer your scent so that they last all day, because since I'm starting with vanilla in my body butter, really, I started in the shower actually. So starting with the shower with my scrubs and my body gels, my little body oil, I think it's a TPH one that I like to use in the shower, and then finishing this off with a fragrance on top. Girl, you're gonna smell good all day.
Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I talk more about glowing up from the inside out, because we do see such a hyper focus online about the physical side of the glow up and, you know, kind of like the vanity of it all. I do still think that it's important that you do put yourself together, that you do feel good about yourself externally while you are working on all of that internal things. Like, glowing from the inside out means that inside and out is glowing, okay? It's not a either or in this situation. It's a both and. Okay, so put yourself together, sis. Put that dress on. Why you saving outfits?
Euphoria.
have done my everything shower, and now it's time for me to take care of my skin. I'm not doing anything too intense to my skin right now because I am planning to go get a facial soon. So I'm not going to be doing any of my like at home exfoliating, micro needling type of judge tonight. I'm just going to do a couple of like touch-ups, cleanups around my brows, shave off my little stash. So, I was talking to you about planning my website and working with the Dream Lab. I feel like it rejuvenated my creativity, and along with everything else that I've been doing for the past couple of days, right? Like really deep diving in my word, reminding myself of messages that I've got in the past, reminding myself of my why, and then just really pouring into myself. Girl, I already feel so much better. If there's anything else that I've learned from my self-love, my glow up journey, is that wallowing for me is a trick of the enemy, and he's after my purpose, right? That's really what it comes down to. He does not only try and stop your purpose, he'll slow it down. Oh my goodness. This past Wednesday, Pastor Darius at Change Church during Bible study, I really felt like this past week's Bible study spoke directly to this topic. Let's get to plucking. I don't pluck or shave my face just completely dry and raw. So I'm adding a little bit of oil. I'm using squalane oil because if you do not know, I do struggle with fungal acne. So I can't just use any old thing on my face, but I don't have an issue with squalane oil. In my experience with disappointment, it's easy for me to see the red flag, the stop sign. Clearly, this is a sign that I should not be doing this, because if God is walking me down this path, right, it should be easy. There shouldn't be any blockades or checkpoints or like hardships along the way. And that is so false, because as we've been talking about week after week, there are certain lessons that you cannot learn outside of hardship, whether it's character building, putting something in you, or taking something out of you. Okay, the pruning happens along hardship. It's uncomfortable. So it is like when Caleb and all of his people went to go check out the promised land, and only Caleb and Joshua came back and said, oh no, it's good. Like, for real, there's milk and honey flowing over there. We got this. Come on, let's go. And the other spies said, yeah, but there's giants. There's giants in that land. You can take the giants in the promised land and see that as a sign that actually we must not have heard that right, because people already lived there. Conquerors lived there. They already thriving over there, so it can't be meant for me. Whole time, yeah, there's giants in the land, but it's to deter you on purpose, because are you going to go over there and go through the hardships to overcome and be victorious and gain the promise, or are you going to let the giants be an indicator? Stop here, turn around, stay in the wilderness. And I don't want to stay in the wilderness anymore. I don't want to be in the wilderness longer than I'm supposed to. And part of that for me is learning how to handle disappointment and mastering the bounce back, giving myself grace and intentional time to pour, to reset, to reframe the thoughts, to take the thoughts that I'm having and take them captive, discarding the ones that do not align with God, with what God is saying to me, does not align with my Bible, and taking on the truth, God's truth, and really wearing that, wrapping myself in that truth so that I can continue to push forward, especially in this season that I'm in. He's training my discernment. He is working that discernment muscle so that I can know what opportunities are actually in alignment with what I'm supposed to be doing, and what opportunities look good, smell good, real good, but are not aligned with me or my purpose. And instead of beating yourself up about feeling the disappointment, this radical self-care approach is time to release yourself from judgment, to feel the emotions, your frustration, your unworthiness, whatever emotion underlines that disappointment, whatever wound that is, to feel it, to recognize it, to mark this down as like, okay, this triggers that, and understand the why. The journey is not for the swift. It is for those who endure. Endurance looks like knowing when to sprint, when to pace yourself, and when to stop for that water break. I have learned that what disappointment will do, what the enemy will use disappointment to do, is so that you stop yourself from going after things that do actually align with your purpose, because nobody can truly hold us back the way that we can hold our own selves back. Especially when I'm dealing with disappointment, it is easy to slip into the you're not good enough and just kind of overall dimming my own light and stopping myself from reaching to the higher heights that I know that I'm called to. And self-care really does attack that at the source, at the root. Okay, when you are spending time loving on yourself, caring for yourself, working on your mindset, your mental state, your physical state, making intentional time for you to reflect, to breathe, to come against those type of thoughts, that is how you show yourself kindness and you start to build yourself up brick by brick, layer by layer, until you are fully shining in the truth of who you are, what you're called to do, and knowing that your value is not wrapped up in what you do. Your value is literally who you are as a person. That's it. You are already worthy and then called to purpose. You are not called to purpose to be found worthy. It's two separate things. There is no proving yourself in order to be worthy of going after your dreams. No. You're going after your dreams because you are alive, you are breathing, and you love yourself too much to let your talents go to waste. That's it, that's all. Okay? But sis, I see you. Even in the middle of your disappointment, I see you. It is time to release the self-doubt, the frustration, the unrealistic expectations that come around disappointment, and instead nourish yourself on hope, on faith. Strengthen the belief in yourself and in your journey. Disappointment is just data, okay? It is just information, and use it not to define you, but as a reminder to turn inward, to reflect, and to prepare to move forward, because disappointment can just be a realignment of things. It can just be a lesson. It can just be protection. It can just be a way for us to move forward in more clarity in what we are called to do. Now, if you have been struggling to find time making self-care part of your daily routine, then sis, I want you to go watch this video next, and I'll see you over there.